Hello, everyone, and happy full moon in Scorpio. We are going to look at the aspects and we're going to talk about them. So just have a seat, sit back, relax. All right. So we know that May 7th, Thursday, is the super full moon in Scorpio. And this is the third and final super full moon. It's closer to Earth. We get a stronger magnetic pull at the center of the Earth. The energy is stronger for all the plants that's growing and for us to also grow so we can tap into this energy. Now we're going to look at your birth chart and then see if these aspects are in your chart. You're free to pause the video and highlight if you have your chart printed out, or you can just sit back, relax, and however you want to do it and see how powerful you connect to the full moon. But it doesn't matter what sign the full moon is, you can still connect to it. So the strong aspects that I'm choosing to focus on is the moon opposing Mercury, the moon squaring Mars, okay, Uranus in the first house on the full moon, also Mercury in the second house in Taurus. So it's all these positions, Venus in Gemini, and the moon trines Neptune. So let's start off with this. This is going to cover the personality of a person, excuse me, but also what you can expect or notice in your own personal life or in someone else. They may have this aspect, that's why they're experiencing it, or they might be the particular zodiac sign, or they might be around someone of that and experiencing it as well. I'm going to pause this and get some water because I think I need that. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so what are we looking at? So with the moon opposing Mercury, we're looking at Mercury as communication, right? Messages. And the moon as emotions. So this is happening at 3 degrees 3 minutes. So you would just look at the numerology of that number and apply it to your situation if this aspect is powerful in your chart. So we're dealing with memory problems. We're dealing with that you can see this displayed in a person's personality, the way that they're acting, or maybe in yourself if you're willing to look at yourself honestly. So in all of these aspects, you have to look at yourself honestly. And sometimes a person might not be ready for that, okay, on a deep level. There's no problem understanding a situation, but then it would be interpreted or secondhand relay in an incorrect way. So you can look at this as lying on a level of lying to oneself. So they will say what they're repeating in a negative way or in the wrong, incorrect way, or lying, right? So the positive part of this aspect is that they can use communication to benefit themselves, regardless if it's good or bad. Okay, so personal emotions and feelings will be at a bigger level of disagreeing. Okay, so a lot of disagreeing and not really using the facts in the right way. So a lot of emotional problems, even gossiping, believing their own lie, or just believing that it is the truth, right? Very intelligent people, right? Whenever Mercury's there, very good with words, very good with communicating. Even if someone else can see that it's negative, they're still winning in some way, right? A kind of a narcissistic behavior pattern, right? But very intelligent, but very deceitful. Okay, so we can notice that in the aspect. Now, if you have this in your chart, it doesn't mean that it's bad, right? It can have its bad tendencies. It all depends on how you use it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is just one way of looking at it with this type of angle. This is the opposing. Okay, so there is an issue with communicating and the emotions. That's the big message to get. Now the moon squares Mars. The square is where there is a conflict. So the conflict can be an opportunity to learn something here. 8 degrees, 44 minutes. Okay, so you can look at the numerology. There's a numerology meaning and an astrology meaning. They both pretty much mean the same thing, but they use different words. Okay, some of the words mean the similar, same things, similar or same. Okay, so when you're looking at the numerology for a number, okay, versus the astrology numerology meaning. Okay. All right. So the moon squares Mars, and this is about emotional tension, a lot of tension in emotions. Okay. Indecisive behavior, can't make up their minds. Okay. Bossy personality, any kind of cruel or hard-hearted behavior. All right. They're very good at winning conflict. So right now, the part of this moon, you can just look at the different aspects that's going on. This is about really trying to cover up mistakes or lies and so on. The Neptune is the great revealer. Okay. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So this type of personality is aiming to win a conflict. Okay. So in a sense, if this is a person with this aspect, they'll make someone that would be good to advocate or a lawyer if they're, or personally defending oneself. Okay. Lack of conforming to an idea or a situation. So this is not going to be, Mars is a fighter, right? The moon is emotion. So they're not going to easily agree to do something that you want to do. So in this full moon period, it's going to be a little bit harder to come to agreements, but doesn't mean that it won't happen. Okay, not settling down, maybe want to keep trying new things, or the person likes to travel a lot, or in this situation, it would be not really coming to one concrete agreement. It would be different decisions. It's not like a collective decision. It's everyone kind of doing their own thing when they want to. Okay, it's a very busy time for anyone that lives a more challenging, adventurous lifestyle, right? So good or bad, this aspect is going to highlight kind of living dangerously, but there's a reason behind it, okay? So maybe the person feels like they have to, okay? So it's emotion, how you feel about something versus the need to survive or feel like you need to defend yourself where Mars comes in, okay? And it's usually going to be conflict with people that live close to you, whether they're your neighbors, whether they're your family member. It's just a disagreeing moment right now, right? And we can look at what's going on globally or in our own lives at this aspect, okay? I know it's like, what is this? But this is what we are experiencing right now, all right? And we're experiencing this in Taurus season. So Taurus is all about the home. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So a lot of the best way to win over conflict is to do it in a more feminine way. So it's going to have to be done in a way where the other person may think it's their idea, or it might be done in a way where it's agreed to disagree. It has to be done in a way where it's whatever needs to be done will be done, right? So it's going to happen, right? So this is a great time for us to really connect to what's important, what's at our heart, what's most important to us. It's the home level, because we're in that Taurus season. So everything that we're doing is personally affecting us. So we have to really look at everything carefully. Now, this is the interesting thing. The rebel is in the first house. So Uranus is in the first house on the full moon. So the first house is developing our own identity. So people are going to care strongly about themselves. Okay, the way that we present ourselves is going to really matter in what's important to us. Okay, and working on a lifetime issue, right? This is not going to be easy to tackle. So a lifetime issue is not something easy to tackle. So it's going to just be little pieces of it that will pop up that will kind of get worked on, but not really, it will be a start. Okay, a realization. A lot of people are going to realize things that they thought they believed their whole life, and then they're like, oh my gosh, look at what's happening now. I can see the other side of this. People are waking up more. Okay, any issues that may change frequently or abruptly will need to be looked at and solved. So what do you feel is changing a lot? Well, this is something that we need to take more notice of and make sure that we're paying attention to it, because the first house is about self, and we really have to look at what's most important. Okay, it's a more powerful self. So at the end of the day, we're going to become a stronger individual, and then hopefully that can kind of work collectively. Okay, now Mercury being in the second house of Taurus, this is great because Taurus is really ideal. Let me see. Taurus is very focused on what needs to be done right now. Okay, and Geminis can benefit from this. Okay, so in the 13th zodiac, Gemini is Taurus. So if you're a Gemini, you can really benefit from the grounding qualities of Taurus, right? So Mercury in the second house of Taurus is manifesting your year's idea and dream. Even though we're going through a lot right now with our situation, we can still make changes for our life and dream. And remember that, let me look at I should bring this up on my phone so that I don't have to scroll back and forth. But it's 19 degrees is what, 19 degrees, 9 again, endings and beginning, right? So we need to make sure that we're changing up our ideas of ourselves, our life, and our dreams with communicating with what's most important to us, our home, our Taurus. What's our Taurus? It's our home. It's our private space, right? It's a powerful time to be realistic with ourselves. No wasting time. Taurus knows how to utilize time very well. So we can't be wasting our time. This is very important, okay? Yes, 19 minutes, right? 19 minutes is the duration of the moon being 17 degrees. So that 9 is coming up again, endings and beginnings. That's what I'm thinking, okay? Making concrete plans regarding your dreams and making them real. So whatever you're going through right now, you have to do what's best for you, okay? So the rebel is in the first house. You have to do what works best for you, but also make sure you're protecting yourself. Communicate and communicate, but understand the importance of home, right? And all that matters to you with that. Now, Venus in Gemini is like the social chameleon. And now that the time is warming up, people are not going to want to just be like whatever. They want to communicate. They want to socialize in many different ways. We have many, even though we think we're just one thing, some of us, that'll be silly. We want to communicate on different levels. We want to go to communicate with this group, with this place, that place. So we want to do that, right? Boredom is not going to be tolerated because Gemini is social and Venus is like the feminine fighting version of Mars, right? But it's beauty, it's love, it's fighting for what is yours, right? It's freedom, it's flexibility, freedom in your relationship to do what you want to do, right? It wants diversity in everything, right? That is important for you. There's a strong need to feel like you're growing right now. This is the supermoon, so we want to grow, but we also want to make sure that we are logical with that Taurus energy, because we're in Taurus season. So it's a fight between being logical right now in Taurus season with Scorpio wanting to be free and do what they want to do, right? So this Venus is about our physical, also about our physical beauty and harmony, right? So we got to create that energy around us, right? That Mercury is focusing on attracting a person's mind. The most powerful mind game right now is attracting a person's mind, right? And it's a strong personality, right? The Gemini personality, that Venus attracting that energy. It's a great time to be charming and charming a person's mind and even charming your own mind. How would you do this? You would do this in a sense of what sounds good to you, what works good for you. You know, there's many levels of doing this. So what works good for you, and then how can you project that out into your world, right? Now, the moon trines Neptune. This is happening at 3 degrees 2 minutes. Okay, so that's the high peak of this this aspect. Okay, so this is very much like religious and spiritual groups maybe coming together more, or also knowing that you have to be on your own personal journey and finding harmony for yourself, because this is a harmonious aspect. It's your emotion versus your spirituality and what is hidden and mysteries and secrets and so on, and everything that Neptune represents. So it can get messy, right? It's like a messy aspect in the spiritual sense. It's a messy mind if you allow yourself to get so idealistic with it instead of making it healing for you along your life journey. I mentioned that in the other video, in the full moon astrology oracle video. So Neptune can get out of control when it's trying to just overimpose itself, right? But if you allow it to be healing and a guide for you in this lifetime, this can be very healing. You can be very talented in your art, in expressing your spirituality, expressing your healing abilities, if you will. Okay, it's like on that spiritual level. Okay, make sure that people with this aspect too, make sure that you aren't so giving that you become self-sacrificing. So a lot of people can be followers and people with a good heart, or followers with an agenda, you know, and something negative. So either you can be a good person that's willing to help, self-sacrificing, but and that's what it mainly focuses on, becoming taken advantage of because you are so supportive and self-sacrificing. And then the other aspect is not realizing that you're self-sacrificing. You thinking you're getting something out of it, but you're getting screwed. So there's the two sides to that, right? There's the one like, oh, I feel like I'm doing something so good. I feel, you know, blah, 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 and I'm so supportive, and then you're being used. And the other hand, you think you're doing something that benefits you, and you're doing it in anger, or because you feel righteous, but then in the end, you're getting screwed. So this is a harmonious aspect if you use it right, okay? And Neptune squares Venus is another powerful aspect. And I think, yes. So that was the moon trines Neptune. Now, Venus trines Neptune squares Venus is the next aspect that you want to look at. Okay, this can be a challenging aspect with Venus squaring Neptune, but this is your own spiritual self-thought versus your survival mode and your material world and the things that you love. So a lot of us are going through this type of fight right now. Do I, you know, it's like protect myself, but I also need to survive. So we have to find the balance between this, okay? And it's a very spiritual, it's a fight with the spiritual mind as well. So sometimes people can get too spiritual where they're not being realistic, and we're in the physical world. So we have to be realistic. It's not so much what we hear or what we believe, but what is really going on. See, there's that 3 again, okay? So what's really going on? So let me look at that. Let me look at the Neptune. Okay, let me look. Oh, I'm already there. Neptune. Okay, so this is happening at 0 degrees 48 minutes. Okay, so that's that zero, that start, that starting over energy. Okay, that is very interesting. Okay, so it's kind of like, what's the cycle here? What's the cycle we're looking at? Right? What is that cycle? Now let me look at Neptune trines. Neptune, or the moon trines Neptune. Let me look at that. Okay, that's happening at 3 degrees 2 minutes. Okay, so we really have to be mindful of how we are. Okay, how are we to ourselves, right? And we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. That is harmonious as well. Right? So we want to make sure that we are speaking and we're communicating in a good way. Okay? We want to use our intuition. We want to be inspiring as well. Okay, it's a reset. It's a reset with this Mercury sextiles Neptune, right? So communicating spiritually to ourselves is most importantly, okay? And we want to make sure that our material things in life is practical right now. We want to be practical right now, and then we can move forward to, you know, a bigger picture where we are using our intuition, we are inspiring ourselves and others, we are speaking and we're communicating, but we're also listening. It's like a reset button, okay? So that's another aspect. I didn't write that one down, but I was thinking about mentioning it. But yeah, so those are the powerful aspects. So what's the most important aspect? The moon in Scorpio in the 8th house. So the 8th house issues are going to be strong. Okay. All right. 2nd house issues are going to be very strong. Right. Yes, that's going to be very strong. Okay. The sun, our personal self, is going to be strong right now. Our Mercury is going to be strong right now. Okay. Our Uranus is going to be strong right now. Right. Our own originality, our own self. This is, you know, this is very, very important time right now. Very important time. Okay, and that's like 2nd house and 1st house issues are strong as well as 8th house. 12th house issues are very strong this full moon. That aspect. Okay, the Neptune energy is strong. The Pisces energy is strong. Okay, because Neptune is really strong. Some people are living in a fantasy. Some people need to bridge the fantasy and reality together, right? Illusions have to, like, it's like that veil has to be lifted. We also have to be creative and use our imagination to heal and to move us forward, right? And a lot of us have to be more spiritual level, also looking at what we eat too, you know, and taking better care of ourselves. So we can't live in a fantasy. We have to be realistic. We're in a solid world, but we're also spiritual beings. So it's really making that strong connection. Okay. And that Venus and Gemini, like I said, that we want to be social, and we need to protect what we love at the same time. Okay, so that's very, very powerful as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope that this was useful to you, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please click like, please subscribe, and share with someone that you think that this will be helpful. The aspects are very powerful. It can guide you to how you're going to meditate, how you're going to really get focused, and really, if you sit within yourself and you trust your gut instincts, that's going to lead you. That ties in very strong, our animal instinct, to trust our gut. What decision should I make? You gotta let it out, right? And then you gotta be quiet and receive the message. All right. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Peace.